What the hell else more do you need to know?
Hello, and welcome back to Hot Quality Content featuring CineChix. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
How are you?
We are hanging in here.
I didn't ask how you guys, I asked how CineChix, our guests, are doing. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. We are here to talk about our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2021. We each have our own list, and they're all a little bit different, but I'm anticipating that our 3 lists are going to be very similar to each other's, just because we're the same.
Considering Ian and I talked about our lists like 2 minutes ago, yeah. So I will start us off. My number 5 is something that I'm super ironically jazzed for, partially for the cast and no reason else, so entirely for the cast, and that is Chaos Walking. This movie got delayed back in like 2019 to begin with. It's based on a book. I've never read the book. I don't give a shit about the goddamn book. I am just overhyped because it just became such like an inside joke with us where we'd be like, oh, Chaos Walking comes out next week. Oh, Chaos Walking got delayed, yada, yada, yada. And then the trailer dropped, and I was like, all right, I guess I got to watch the trailer. It's got Daisy Ridley. It's got Tom Holland. I think Mads Mikkelsen as well. I'm just ironically jazzed for this film because I've been shitposting about it for about a year. It's similar to how we were with Gemini Man, where we were just super excited to see it, even though we knew it was probably going to suck.
The thing about Chaos Walking, too, it was at a time where multiple movies that you were really excited to see just kept getting delayed, and it was the icing on the cake for you.
Well, it's funny because that movie was made during like the very height of Daisy Ridley having just been in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
And it was supposed to be her
big.
next...
Tom Holland was super big.
Tom Holland's still super big.
Still,
I know.
That's
but
still
like they were
happening.
fresh off of their Star Wars and Spider-Man like initial success, and now this is like it feels so removed from that time period.
It's almost
that
half a decade.
Mud, I know
yeah.
you're gonna have a blast.
I'm
in the
gonna
theater.
be up in that fucking A1 front row corner seat.
Wow, in
seat
your
now.
own room because theaters are closed.
It's a little
Yeah.
too close for me.
Exactly. Good luck going to the theaters.
Thanks.
All right. Jeez, I can tell you for a fact I don't have Chaos Walking on any of my 5 spots.
You're wrong.
I'm correct.
It's all 5 of mine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, my number 5 is Dune, which I know is a lot higher on your list. Dune is based on the book that I haven't read, just like Chaos Walking for Mud.
I'm actually reading it right now.
Are you? Really?
I am.
Before we were, I read it before we reviewed it for the channel.
yeah,
we
we just watched the original, very good one that has no faults.
The 1984 one, which is a very bad movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I'm reading the book, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot.
Better yet, watch our review of it. That's all you need to see.
Yeah.
You
We'll
see
check
the
it out.
polygons and the eyebrows.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
That's most of what makes up that movie. But no, I'm excited for Dune because I love the concept. I love the cast involved. You got like 10 A-listers in there. But most importantly, Denis Villeneuve is directing. And this
fantastic.
guy
He is amazing.
has done one of my like top 20 movies of all time, Prisoners, which is just like almost a masterpiece in my
Yes.
opinion. And he also did this. What am I forgetting? The Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049.
How did you forget Blade
I
Runner?
forgot Blade Runner. I don't know what to tell you.
One of the best films of that year.
I know.
Yeah,
It was
very
so
true.
good. And there's a third one that's missing my mind, but that's okay. But he's like has this wonderful slate of like almost 20 years of movies, maybe more than that, I don't even know. And everything he turns out just seems to just hit, just home runs. So with this property and this cast and that director, it's a surprise it's not even higher on my list. But that's so anticipation worthy. So
Dude, he did Arrival and Sicario.
yeah.
That's true.
Weren't those back to back?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
After
He's fa-
Prisoners.
He's absolutely fantastic.
He's like a Nolan just hitting him.
Yeah.
Here's just good movies, audience.
We need more directors like that.
Yeah.
We need less directors like that. Only
of-
garbage directly into Hollywood.
Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yes.
Ugh. No, speaking of good directors, Ian, what's your number 5?
Oh, easy peasy, beautiful cover girl. Coming to America. The proper title for the film, by the way. There's no way.
You know what? That almost made my list. It almost did.
Good.
There's no way you named the movie anything but that, for one. But for two, the original is one of probably my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. And that's coming from He's Donkey and Shrek. Like, I love Eddie Murphy.
It's coming
But
from He's
Coming
Donkey
to America
and Shrek.
Two.
is so much fun. And it's such a beautiful, fun... I always
Yeah.
struggle to find words when I try to talk about how good something is. It's such a funny movie. It has such charm to it. And a sequel like 30 plus years later, I'm very excited to see what they do with it and what direction they take with it, especially with most of the original cast returning. I want to see. A lot of comedy sequels that have big gaps in between kind of suck,
Kinda.
or they're okay and they don't have the charm of what the original one has. And hoping that this movie keeps the charm of Coming to America, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That's why I'm excited, because there's so much naivety in that movie from Eddie Murphy's character, and he loves working at McDougal's, and it's like no one likes working there, and he has every single thing about him in that movie is such a nice little charm, and I feel like going back to that might lose some of that naivety, but I want to see what they try to do.
Do we know if Sam Jackson's coming back?
I don't know.
He was the
actually.
best freaking character.
He
in
tries
that
to
scene.
rob.
Isn't
them.
he the one who screams, "Who the hell is this asshole?"
That's where
He tries to rob them.
that was the
Yeah.
world's
Hell yeah.
intro to his like
Yeah.
MFR word. It
Yep.
was so good. I'm so excited.
And I just want to know what they do, because it's a very long. What was it? 27 years in between. the two
27
movies?
Something
years.
like that, yeah.
That's such a long time for a comedy sequel.
I feel like they need to stop doing the sequels from 27 years ago. They need to stop making movies that they already made 27 years ago.
So you must not like
Because
Disney
it
then.
doesn't have the same charm. It doesn't have the same. The humor is different.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be.
I don't think it's gonna be the same, but I want to see what they do with it, because the original movie is so damn good.
I think it's gonna be almost like a parody of itself.
Yeah.
Probably, I could see that, because the movie is remotely parodical already in some of its comedy, where I feel like that could be the case. But
We'll see what happens.
All right, guys, what's your number 5?
You can get number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 is The Suicide Squad.
Hell yeah!
Oh no!
Main reason is because I would love to see what James Gunn does with it.
True.
Because I mean, I know the first one was extremely hated, and I'm not saying it's a great movie, but I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people did. I was like okay with it, but I thought it was good enough to like, okay, let's do better next time, because WB just doesn't know what it wants to do when it comes to DC content. So, but I'm happy they got someone who's kind of familiar with like the whole superhero franchise, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping and praying that it is much better than the first one.
That's a low bar to pass.
You know what my thing is too?
It is. Yeah.
We talked about what director we'd like to take over the DCU if it wasn't going to be Zack Snyder at the start, and I immediately said James Gunn, because he knows what he's doing. So that's my one inkling of hope for this movie. It's like, James Gunn knows how to make this fun, right?
Is it on your list?
No, oh god, no.
This movie cost me $50.
Yeah, yes, it did.
Oh, okay. So for context, Mud bet Ian that the title was going to be Suicide Squad. He lost.
Well, proper title.
Would have been good.
For the record, I think I had like an 80% chance, and then they were like, directed by James Gunn, and I was like, no, he's smart. He wouldn't do that.
So you were banking on like David Ayer coming back and being
Yeah,
like, we should
exactly.
call it Suicide Squad.
No, I'm also remotely excited, because I think it's going to be better.
I think you have the correct opinion on all that. That movie sucks, but they could do better.
Yeah.
And it's fun, at least. There's at least some kind of fun there to be had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
long as they keep that and ramp it up, then it could definitely be way better, especially with a good director.
Yeah.
What's your number 5?
My number 5, I'm gonna start it off with not a super serious movie, Free Guy. I'm excited for some fun, dumb movie, and I've been waiting for this for forever because it's supposed to come out.
December, I think.
It was originally slated for
It was supposed to come
July
out
of
this
this
month.
year.
It feels like it's supposed to come out like that 5 years ago because this year has been 7 years.
It
Oh,
has
yeah,
been
100%.
7
Hey,
years.
hey, it's a Fox movie. So
That
yeah,
too.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward to that because it looks like it'll be fun. I like the concept, even though the concept kind of reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph, of like being in a game and then trying to like.
see, I got strong Ready Player One vibes from that trailer.
It does.
Yeah.
It does have
Yeah,
Ready
I
Player
do.
One vibes as well, and that's a whole other movie that I have issues with because I loved the book.
Yep. I love it. It's one of my favorite books, actually.
It's so good. I've read it twice. Love it. And all of the things that they could have put in it, but then they didn't because the studio that made it didn't want to put other things in it, whatever. But Free Guy, I'm hoping, is entertaining and fun, and I'm sure it's going to be, like, dumb and not, like, the best movie, but I'm hoping it'll be a good time.
Dumb movies are the best movies.
They are.
When we did our anticipated list of 2020, that was on it for, I think,
We
all
three of us put Free
Yep.
Guy as a 2020 anticipated.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's not on
A,
mine.
A, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
B,
it's not
it
on
looks
mine
like
either.
GTA, but the game,
Yeah.
but the movie. It looks fun.
It does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so now down to number 4. this is very topical, as right around this time, I believe our Spectre review is going to be going up. No Time to Die.
Yes.
Yes, come on. We grinded through so many shit tier Roger Moore James Bond films, so many shit tier Pierce Brosnan James Bond films. I just want the culmination of what this is all building towards. The end of the Bonthon, the No Time to Die review. I want to see it. I want to see everything. I want to see the end of James Bond. I want to finally listen to the theme because I haven't listened to the Billie Eilish song yet because I'm waiting to see it in theaters for context.
I have. It's not.
I'm a huge Billie Eilish fan. I don't want to listen to the song until I can see it in theaters full context. I want to see a better version of Blofeld than what we got in Spectre, where they go, oh, actually, I'm not your fucking adopted stepbrother, because that shit was ass.
That's true.
They're not gonna retcon it.
Maybe they will. They retconned everything else
That's
to be
true.
like, it was Spectre the whole time.
They did.
Maybe they'll retcon it to be like, it wasn't Spectre the whole time.
That would be like the worst on top of the worst.
You're right, but still, I want to see the car gun. I want to see Ana de Armas. I want to see everything.
You know what's really funny, Mud? My number 4 is the same exact movie.
Yeah, well,
I'm
Jake's in between us.
No, you can jump out. I'll yield.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
to watch No Time to Die. Daniel Craig is great.
Oh my god,
Everyone who
he's amazing.
complains about him being James Bond, wrong.
Incorrect.
He's so good. He might be a serial killer, but he's great. As
He's a
James
government
Bond.
contracted serial killer.
He's fantastic. I love the cast. I love the acting. I love every single Daniel Craig movie, even though Quantum of Solace isn't as good. It's still good.
Yeah, it's watchable.
All of them are good. And we finally get this culmination where all the characters, Felix is coming back. We finally maybe get Q doing something useful. The best Moneypenny. M a second time, but Judi Dench coming back.
We don't know
for
that
probably-
Judi Dench is in
I
it.
think it's just gonna be a flashback thing. Cause
Probably,
why not?
but like still.
But everything, and the car gun, when they do the thing in the trailer, and the gun comes out of the thing and he spins around, that looks fun as hell. That's all I want from a James Bond movie is dumb gadgets, good characters, Daniel Craig murdering everybody, and the culmination of 25 films that we slogged
You know what
through.
will make this movie for me is if at one point in the movie Ben Wishaw's Q turns to the screen and he goes, "Fuck you, Ian."
I don't like him because he's not old and giving me dumb gadgets. He said exploding pens are dumb last movie. That's a sin.
No one's gonna be as good as Desmond Llewellyn, man.
That's true.
true.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
very true.
I'm just gonna go with my number 4 just so we can pass it off to them because we gotta speed this along here.
It's our channel.
Yeah, my number 4 is A Quiet Place Part 2. This really has like a thorn in my side because I love the first Quiet Place. It's one of my top 10 of that year. And it's maybe one of the best horror movies in the past like 5 years. You
Absolutely.
got that.
Oh,
You got
100%.
like Get Out. You got the
Shape
third
of Water.
Thank you, The Shape of Water.
No, the one where the sexually transmitted disease, It Follows.
That's a good one.
It Follows
That's a good one. Yeah.
slaps.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
The thing is, we had tickets to see this in March,
Yep.
and the critics got to see it, and they were like, "This is like the second coming of Christ. It's like the best.
It's
movie of all
as good
time.
as the first one.
as good but better." Blah blah blah. blah.
And then every theater went,
and everything shut down, and critics still have seen it almost a year ago, and now we're not gonna see it apparently until March, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh God.
But
My favorite part of that.
I was super excited for it, but the thing is like he didn't even want to do a second one.
Yeah.
And
Who?
they were
The
like,
Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
Jim.
Jim didn't want to do another one.
Goddamn Jim.
But he was basically forced to because they were like, hey, the studio's like, this made us a lot of money, and
Yep.
if you don't come back, we're gonna do it with somebody else.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. You
he
have
was
to
like,
come back.
okay, I guess I have to. So I'm a little bit like skeptical because I'm not sure it has like his 100% like heart into it.
That's
The
fair.
same level of passion that he put in the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also my uncle worked on the second Quiet Place. And
That's
he
so
didn't
Really?
cool.
Yo, can I have your uncle's phone number?
That's so funny. Oh my
That's
God.
That's really
awesome.
cool.
That's so cool. All right. We don't have any relatives in the industry. We're terrible.
No.
We're all the way on the other
We
side of the
barely
country.
have relatives.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, my uncle lives on your side. He's in New York.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
sorry.
That's no Quiet Place Part 2. To wrap it up, I just want to say that it was on my most anticipated of 2020 when we did that video a year ago. It is still on this list, but if it gets delayed again, I might fall out of favor just based on me not seeing it soon. That it does an emotional impact in your brain. You
Yeah.
don't anticipate it as much.
Yeah, I get
Object pertinence. I haven't seen Quiet Place in a while, therefore I'm not excited
Exactly.
anymore.
But as of right now, it's number 4.
All right.
So guys,
What's your
Oh,
number
me?
4?
Okay. Mine is actually No Time to Die as well.
Hey!
I was actually really excited when the trailers first dropped. And I know you haven't heard the Billie Eilish song yet, but like I think that song is what made me even more excited for the movie.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, like I really love it. Sounds new, but also very authentic, like old Bond. I
You
don't
want
know.
that in a Bond theme. You want it to sound like that singer's making a Bond song.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you've pretty much said everything that I could have said about it. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so that's my number 4.
You know what? It's funny because that was my number 4, and then I took it off. And decided to replace it with Uncharted. I went with Uncharted because I've played all of the video games and I love them.
Mhm.
And I've met Nolan North.
That's so good.
And he's awesome. And I want it to be really good, but you know, Hollywood's not great at making
Mark Wahlberg
video
is going to be in
movies.
it, so I understand your
Assassin's
concerns.
Creed was terrible. Tomb Raider is good, but the new one was But so I'm hoping that it's good. And I don't have much hope seeing as Mark Wahlberg is playing Sully, and Mark Wahlberg is not great.
He's Mark Wahlberg.
I'm so glad that that's not just my opinion.
Listen, we're from where Mark Wahlberg comes from. We're sorry for Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, full apologies.
Thank you, I appreciate it. We need somebody to apologize.
I'm also excited about Uncharted because I do love the games, but I know the games aren't going to be how I play it, where I just die a bunch. Tom Holland's not just going to throw a grenade at himself and die. That's not how it's going to go. So it's not
Yeah.
really true to the gameplay experience.
No, it's Uncharted. He just respawns just like in the video
Wouldn't
game,
that
like
be
every minute.
great? Wouldn't that be great? Is if
That'd be
in the
fantastic.
movie he's just like, wait, I get another life. I'm back.
Ready Player Uncharted.
I want to see the Skyrim movie where they pause and just down 80 wheels of cheese while they're fighting like
Oh
the
my
ancient
gosh.
dragon.
I'm currently playing Witcher 3,
Oh,
and that is what I do all the time.
I haven't
Yep.
played the games, but I've seen the show. Holy shit!
I want to get Witcher 3 so bad because it looks
It's
so
so
fun.
it's a 10-year-old game, but it's worth it. It still looks great, and
That's good.
the gameplay is awesome. And I watched the show before I played the game, and that made it even more fun to play.
Oh,
Nice,
absolutely.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, where are we on next? We did
I
number
believe
4.
I'm at
Three.
number 3. So I'm
Yes.
starting us off. Number
Alright.
3, The Mafortrix.
Oh God.
Wow, where to start with this one? The Matrix is one of the best films ever made. Its sequels are complete ass.
Whoa.
Shut up. Its sequels are complete ass. 3 is fucking terrible. They didn't even get Hugo Weaving back to play
Yeah.
Agent Smith. Morpheus isn't back. Agent Smith isn't back. Dozer's not back. Like,
know.
why am I excited about this? Because
Dozer.
it's the goddamn Matrix. And I have an inkling of hope that somewhere in there, the Wachowskis still know how to make a movie. I know that they don't because we watched Jupiter Ascending and that movie
Yeah.
sucked.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. We almost fell asleep watching it.
I started it on a plane and never finished it.
I don't know. There's some masochistic part of my brain that's like, maybe this one will be good. And I can't wait to go into the theater and watch 2 hours of fucking weird, kinky cyber bondage ass.
That can be taken a weird way.
Yes, it can. And that's fine. But maybe it'll be good. So it's my number 3.
All right. So my number 3 is not that at all, and you'll see why later. But my number 3 is No Time to Die. I'm gonna wrap up the No Time to Die conversation because we've all.
I can't wait for her to have it at like number 2.
Yeah.
Great.
No. So No Time to Die. For me, I was never the biggest Bond fan, and then we did the Bond-thon, right? So we do this massive endeavor of 20 or 24, 26 ish.
25. Actually, 26.
6.
Yeah, with
Yep.
the 2
2 extras.
non-officials.
Yep.
Not
Gonna be 27.
We watched Casino Royale 1967.
We did.
It was
So we did
bad.
this entire endeavor, and some of them are great, some of them are terrible, a lot of mids in there. But this movie, when trailer 1 dropped, I went, "Oh, okay, what an interesting trailer. I'm excited to see the conclusion." And then months pass, and then trailer 2 drops. And trailer 2 packs every Bond punch you could possibly have. It's got all the or at least a lot of the gadgets. It's got all these wonderful sequences. It's got this character thing. It's got the villain going, "I'm the evil villain. I'm gonna kill you, Bond, maybe." And then Bond's like, "I'm gonna kill you back. I'm gonna kill guy. Kill you. Kick, kick, kick." It's got that. And then you got The freaking we've all talked about.
Authentic Bond dialogue.
We've all talked about it. The car gun. All right. The headlights rescend, and then the guns are turbine gun. They go and
It doesn't take a lot to impress us.
does not take a lot.
No, you put a
like,
gun in a car and I'm sold.
look. I can appreciate like a Parasite movie comes out, right? And I go, wow, it's got excellent themes about class, themes about
Nuance and
nature,
character depth.
nuance. This is one of the best movies of the year, maybe my all time. So good. And I can also appreciate when a spy man has a big car gun and shoots up everybody at the same time. Very good. All right, I'm
100%.
simple pea brain, so I'm very excited for No Time to Die for multiple reasons, but basically echoing all of your sentiments about that.
I'm really glad I get to talk about something that's smart and not just a car gun right now.
Yeah, all
Because my number 3 is In the Heights.
In the Heights.
I hate musicals. I'm not a musical guy. I don't know why I'm excited, except I saw the trailer 8,000 times in
With
theaters.
me specifically.
And every single time I watched it, I grew more and more attached to the trailer. And I'm like, man, I really like this song. Man, Jimmy Smits looks like he's having so much fun. Man, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda's super talented. Every single thing got me more and more excited. And I'm just like, I have to go see this.
I have to mention that Ian's the only one of us who has not seen Hamilton yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hamilton
What?
yet.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know.
I haven't seen Hamilton yet.
Crucify him.
Yeah, demonizing.
It's on Disney
I
Plus now. What's your
know.
excuse?
Yeah.
I can understand when it was on Broadway because those tickets were expensive.
yeah,
I went to go see it on Broadway.
Wow.
I didn't see it on
And,
Broadway.
I
no.
mean, you might as well like buy a house with that money, but like, it's on Disney Plus now. What's the excuse?
I know.
And he has it.
Shame.
Yeah, shame.
I'm just so excited because the trailer is so much. It has do the right thing vibes for me, where it feels like it's going to talk about something very important and present it in a way that's musically beautiful. Because the trailer
Just like
music
Do the
is
Right Thing.
so
Does
good.
Do the Right Thing musical?
No,
No,
Do the
but
Right Thing's
it
not a
has the
musical.
Do the Right Thing theme vibes mixed with Lin-Manuel Miranda's theater background.
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel like both of those things combined are going to be absolutely fantastic, and
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Every time I read the title, I go, In the Heights.
Yes,
Because that's how they say it in the trailer.
I can't
They
say
say
it.
it. They go in the heights.
I can't say it other ways.
It's so catchy and awesome.
Yes, it
The
is.
trailer's just great,
Oh my
and
god.
I want to watch it.
We Stockholm syndromed ourselves into seeing that movie.
We really
did,
did. I
yeah.
was like, I'm not really that excited. A musical, whatever. And then I saw it 30 more times, and I was like, singing along with the trailer in the theaters, and I'm like, yes, I'm so excited.
Dude, no, we saw that shit before. Emma, Call of the Wild, like every movie that just you and I went to this year, they played.
So
it.
hold on. I have only seen the trailer once. Maybe it would be on my list if I had seen it 50 times. I don't
Saw
know.
it like 80 times.
It's
You
not
watched-
on here, but
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait.
Yeah, you guys excited for In the Heights?
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
That
actually,
didn't,
yeah.
I totally forgot about that movie and it did not make it on my list because I did only see it like once.
Yeah, I only saw the. Yeah, I only
Bring
saw
it
the
up on
trailer
YouTube,
once.
watch it a couple times, and then
A
we'll
couple?
continue.
I'll add it back to my list later.
Yeah.
all right. Where are we? North
I think,
Three.
I think
All right.
her.
3.
My number 3 is Black Widow.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like they should have did a movie for her before they killed her.
Thank you.
100%.
It just like
Thank you.
felt weird that they killed her off and then was like, oh, by the way, let's give you a reason to care about the fact that you killed her, other than like she died, but
Yep.
now let's put some emotion behind it like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this movie should have came out like way before.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I would say I think the trailer out of everything is what really made me want to see the movie. I thought the trailer was so like I don't know, it just made me so excited.
It looks good. It does make me excited. I wish that I was more excited about Marvel movies these
Yeah.
days. But
I
the
agree.
big ones ended and now I'm like, I want them to be good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, like the thing is, for me anyway, is that it reminds me a lot of Solo, a Star Wars story, coming out with a young Han Solo right after they murdered Han Solo in Force Awakens. Like,
Yep.
why would
But
I
I
want to?
did love Solo. Don't get me wrong. I loved that movie.
It's a good movie.
It's
I
all
like
right.
it.
I wouldn't call it
I
a
think
great
it's good.
movie.
I wouldn't call a lot of the new Star Wars movies great movies.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank
that's
you.
a correct opinion.
In my opinion, and I know you disagree, but they all pale in comparison to Mandalorian. That's the best thing Disney's done with Star Wars so far.
I agree. She hasn't watched it.
Oh, it's so
She's
good.
not watched Mandalorian.
The season finale was.
But I will
recently.
say, The Mandalorian loves to put a lot of effort in scenes
Mm-hmm.
and in certain episodes, but as a whole, it is very lacking.
Thank you.
I well, see.
Thank you.
I can't because I don't know for whatever reason, but like every week that there's a new episode, it feels like I'm watching a new Star Wars movie. And the sequel trilogy did that for me, but once for a year.
Yeah.
And that does it 8 freaking times a freaking year.
It does it for me in moments, but like also as a whole, like some of the scenes, the way that they shot it, the way that like the directors that they chose and the cinematographers that they chose, you didn't feel immersed. The the last episode was fine. I loved the last 5 minutes. That was really grabbing and like held my attention and was very emotional. But the rest of it, I was like,
You know, it's funny. Mud actually pointed out that felt like a series finale, not a
Yeah,
season
I was like,
finale.
that's series finale
is
territory
it
right
coming
there.
back? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, where
Oh, he coming back.
They have been calling it a season finale,
So,
but
I'm
it was
hoping-
also a trailer. It was a trailer for like 4 other series that
Exactly.
Disney Plus is making.
So where were we?
We already wrapped up our
Oh,
number.
man.
or-
No, I think last one for number 3, I think, right?
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh wait.
My number 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 is The French Dispatch.
Yes!
I love Wes Anderson, and I'm super excited. I love the cast. It's got Timothée Chalamet, it's got Saoirse Ronan, it's got Jason Schwartzman, Bill Murray, you know, all the typical Wes Anderson people. Sorry, my cat is
Sorry,
meowing.
her cat was like.
It's all right. We seal the animals out of the room when we record.
But yeah, I'm just really excited. I don't know too much about the film, and I forgot about it because it was mentioned like years ago. And by years ago, I mean like months ago.
Interesting.
I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson.
He's
I
50.
think he's very, very talented.
For me, he's hit or miss.
Some things are they seem a little pretentious, but I know they're not, but they just seem a little bit.
Well, I mean,
But-
that's kind of his style.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I really,
is,
really like
yeah.
the color grading in his films. The
Oh, yeah.
color grading in those movies are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's good
That's
stuff.
like my biggest thing. It's like you look at like the screenshot and then have like
All right.
absolutely fantastic.
What is your number 2?
Number 2, most anticipated for 2021, it's Dune.
Yeah.
It can't not be Dune.
That's
And I know what you're wondering. What's number 1? We'll get to that. But like everything you mentioned, Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite directors. He made Blade Runner 2049, which was one of my favorite films of last decade. Not just the year it came out, but the whole decade. It was like my second favorite film of 10 years. The cast is amazing. You've got Timothée Chalamet, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa. Who else is going to be in it? Josh Brolin. The dad Skarsgård. Yeah.
Peter?
The dad's cards.
One of the
There's a lot of
There
them.
are a lot of them.
It's Bill, Alex, and Peter, right?
Stefan.
Oh, there's a fourth one.
Yeah, there's the dad. It looks so good, and especially after watching Dune 1984, which is just the fucking worst. I am so excited. I read the book. I'm so happy to see all these scenes unfolding before me with the accuracy that they deserve. The book's fantastic, even if it's paced like just the fucking worst piece of shit you've ever read in your life. It's nothing for
Yes.
400 pages, and then everything
Yes.
happens in 10.
Yeah, reading it made me not add Dune to my list actually,
Really?
Oh.
because I'm reading it and I'm like, so I'm reading it, but I'm listening to the Audible, right? And so I'm 7 hours in, and that's when stuff starts to happen. And I'm
Yes.
like,
Holy shit. Right?
what are you doing? Like, what else is? And then also the way that things happen, I'm like, sometimes I'm getting lost, and I'm like, I go back and I'm like, wait, no, I didn't miss anything. You just really jumped in a weird place. So I'm a little bit uncertain how they're gonna be able to make that a cohesive 2.5 hour.
Denis Villeneuve's going to do is he is going to take his time, which is something Frank Herbert did not do in the book, because shit does not happen for 400 pages, and then the
Yeah.
entire plot is wrapped up in like 3, and you're like, that's it?
Yep.
That's all that
Is
happens?
this the book and you're shaking it trying
Yeah,
to get more?
exactly. Where's the
Yeah.
rest of it?
Yeah.
I think my best example of that in the books, how far into the book are you?
I'm like a little bit past book 2.
Okay, I don't know if what I'm going to reference has happened yet, so I won't reference
That's fine.
it.
Go for it.
All right. It's what my best example of the poor pacing in the novel is when Duncan Idaho dies. Because what happens is the door.
What?
Yeah. I know, the best character, Duncan Idaho. Paul is talking to one of the Fremen, I forget who. The door slides open and Duncan's in like a 1v8, and then the door slides closed and they leave. And then like later on in the book, it's like 2 years later, I'm like, did Duncan die? What the fuck was that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's terrible. Like the things that happen, and then like the Duke is like on his way to like go talk to his wife, and then all of a sudden that's when stuff happens, and I'm like, okay.
All the same, I really do enjoy the book for what it touches on thematically and its character work with Paul, who is way more compelling than he appears in the 1984 film.
Yep.
So it is my second most anticipated film for the year.
Okay. Well, my second most is something that wasn't on my list until recently. I'm going to get into a little bit of context for this movie.
Oh, fucking boy.
It's Spider-Man 3, but not the Sam Raimi one. It's the new Spider-Man 3. Now, let's talk. We got to get into this. I am a fan of Spider-Man Homecoming. I like Far From Home. Those are great movies. He's one of the best Spider-Mans. He's so good. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Big fan. Love the MCU. Love it, love it, love it. But this movie wasn't on my list because, like, I'm excited for Black Widow pretty much just as much as this movie, there's some other MCU movies, But then Doc Ock comes back. And Jamie Foxx's Electro comes back, so one of those is like, oh, hell yeah! And one of them is what? Isn't that a dead franchise? But then I realized what they were doing. They're multiversing. Andrew Garfield is confirmed. Tobey Maguire isn't, even though they're shooting, so he has to be, because why wouldn't they contract that ahead of time?
Yeah.
But so they're both in it logically. Otherwise, these credible sites like Variety and Hollywood Reporter and Deadline are all just wrong, which doesn't make any freaking sense. So they're in it. This is happening. This is what I wanted them to do in the first place. Like in 2017, when Homecoming was coming out, I was like, they should have done the multiverse to introduce a new Spider-Man. But now they've done 2 standard standard movies with this new version. So now you have 3 separate Spider-Man series of context. And both of those old series ended on a dour note. You got Spider-Man 3 and Amazing 2. They're the reasons they were rebooted in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And also preface with, he was my favorite superhero. He probably still is. So the fact that they're taking this route with it, this might be like the X-Men Days of Future Past, but for Spider-Man. And I am so fucking excited at this prospect.
You know what's really funny is flashback like 2 years ago to reviewing Far From Home, and you were talking about how much you wanted this to happen in Far From Home with the multiverse and Mysterio.
Yep.
And I think it's still in the video. I don't know. I don't think I cut it. I'm pretty sure I called you, and I'm quoting, a fucking idiot for thinking that was going to happen.
Oh! All right.
I gotta stop calling you a fucking idiot.
You do.
I do, because
Although when I'm a fucking idiot, you can.
yeah, with the benefit of hindsight, you're a genius, but in the
Mastermind.
moment, you're a fucking idiot.
I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'm just the smartest guy of all time.
Yeah, that's
But-
why you're the one who's still in college.
Exactly. Got him. No, so this is like, this would be number 1 were it not for something very important at number 1. But this is top tier. This passed almost all 5 choices right to number 2. Like, with that prospect, I'm in. It's the pea brain, the car gun to Spider-Man.
Smooth brain energy.
Smooth brain energy, yeah. All right, Ian, what's your number 2?
Oh, easy. Quiet Place Part 2. I cannot even begin to describe why this is the best horror film that I've watched in the past almost my whole life. The tension, the use of sound in that movie, where every little noise gives you constant anxiety. Perfect. That's all I wanted. It's not jump scare garbage. It's not gore horror. It's not like Saw, where it's like, oh, isn't this scary? I'm cutting this guy's guts out. It's like, that's garbage. Horror is my least favorite genre of movie because a lot of it's cheap, disgusting drivel. It's just
The Grudge.
Here's something scary. Boo, jump scare. Oh, here's a nun and Conjuring and all this garbage.
Here's a
Quiet Place is scary as fuck because I don't shut up. Therefore, that would be the worst situation. For
You
me.
would die.
Yeah.
All right, remember the scene where she steps on the nail? You're telling me that's not the worst scene in the movie, and you're sitting there like, oh my god.
Dude, I
she's
gave
gonna-"
myself a Charlie horse when that happened.
Like, that movie is so well paced, so well acted. The ambiance, that's what a horror movie should be. You should have good characters, ambiance, stakes, and actually terrifying monster. Because when you see that thing, you're like, oh my god, it's like the Xenomorph but on crack. You're sitting there staring at this movie going, you don't want to make a noise in the theater because you're afraid you'll fucking kill one of the characters. And you're sitting there. And the beginning of the movie, hard open with the kid getting fucking destroyed. And you're like, oh, this is the movie.
Yeah.
Every single thing about the first movie is absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect. This is a model of what horror should, in theory, be if you're trying to make something good.
I agree.
So how am I not going to be excited for the second one when you add Jimon Hunsu into the cast? When you have the returning cast? When you have a loud-ass fucking baby in a world that doesn't have quiet? It's like,
Yeah,
Babies are
I
loud.
get you. I get
It's
you.
so, like, this is ramping up the stakes times 10, and I'm just so excited.
If I tried, I couldn't give as good of a sermon on Quiet Place Part 2 as Ian just did.
The first one's such a good movie that even if John Krasinski's heart's not into it, he made that first one so well that I think half-assing this movie still could be a 10.
Wow. Well, yeah, top that. No,
I can't because it's the same movie.
oh, shit.
So he basically said anything and everything I could have possibly said, but the one thing I will say is that I haven't seen the first one more than once because of how much anxiety it gave me. It was so good, but the anxiety, it brought my anxiety up so much that I can't watch it again.
I feel that.
I watched it the year it came out. I went down to Virginia to visit some family, and we watched it on DVD in the middle of the day at like 1 p.m. And there's a scene towards the end there. It's at night, and one of the creatures just moves by in the background, and my little cousin, he was like 14, pops up off the couch, and he was like, "Yo, no, 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 no." And he's like in the middle of the room, like bouncing up and down like someone's about to attack him. He's like, "No, That's how much anxiety the movie gave him.
No,
That's amazing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts is the ambiance that movie gives off. You're scared even though you're fine. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I feel that.
All right, my number 2. I was contemplating between 2 movies for this one, but I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Man 3 because Spider-Man is my favorite. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yep.
I loved Homecoming. I wasn't the biggest fan of Far From Home.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's
I
not
just
bad.
felt like
but-
it just wasn't the same. It was like it was just not as good as it could have been, and I really love Spider-Man. I've loved Spider-Man ever since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, even though they were terrible.
All of them?
Well, not all of. I'm watching them now. They are. I mean, going back and looking at it and seeing a 30-year-old Tobey Maguire being all cocky, I'm like, oh my gosh. But in the moment, I loved them all. I stayed up. I like went to the midnight showings. What?
Are you ready for 50-year-old Tobey Maguire?
No, I'm not. We'll see how that goes. But no, I'm really excited. I'm glad that there is one Marvel movie that I'm hoping that they do a good job in. It's just Sony and their little fingers in the pot. Like, they love to screw things up, and that's why they couldn't make any other good Spider-Man.
Got him.
I don't know. Spider-Verse is great.
No,
Spider-Verse is
Spider-Verse
great.
is amazing, but that's a totally different story because that's Sony Animation.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's
I'm just being fair to them.
The-
Spider-Verse
all right,
is
all right.
amazing.
The only thing I will say regarding how Sony does them on their own is that for a time, Spider-Man 2 was the best comic book movie.
You're right.
I just want to point that out. I know we're in a different culture
No, I
now.
agree, but now we've got far superior movies.
Yeah, fair. But
Yeah.
But
that's
it was good
that's
for
still.
its time.
you
It was
know.
good for its time.
All right. So I guess we're finally down to the number ones.
I do want to point out one thing.
Yeah.
The scene where they take off Spider-Man's mask on a train and they go, "It's just a kid. He's like the rest of us." That is a 40-year-old man. You did not convince me at the time.
That's true.
Just
He
a
has gray hair.
He's just a kid. Dude, I think you guys went to high school together. He is not a kid.
Right?
I will say thank you for validating all my dissenting opinions about Far From Home, because I was also
I
not
don't
too
share
hot
them.
on that
I
I
don't
was
share
not
them.
too hot on that movie.
I don't share them either, so it's fine.
All right.
Hey.
Listen,
Alright,
I'm right
good
though.
stuff.
So
I'm right though.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to number ones, do you want an honorable mention in there? Do you want something that almost made the list?
no.
Okay.
No. Nothing almost made the list. I put Chaos Walking On at number 5 ironically. Nothing almost made the list.
Okay, fair.
So my number 1 has already been talked about. Ian mentioned it. It's In the Heights. All right. So you don't like musicals. No, shut up.
I love musicals.
I have such a soft spot for musicals. I think it's because the first movie I ever watched was Grease. So, like, I've just always enjoyed a good musical. But in a similar way to you, I was not hot on that movie when we saw the first trailer, but just over the course of, like, the 3 months where, like, you were busy. I don't remember where you were, but you were busy. So Ian and I just kept going to the movies on, like, a Wednesday night together to hang out. And we just kept seeing it over and over and over again. And it went from like, okay, whatever, to, all right, this is banging. All right. In the Heights. Like, it just evolved and it just kept going. And now that I've seen Hamilton, I'm like, okay, Lin-Manuel Miranda knows what the fuck he's doing when it comes to this specific genre. Jimmy Smits looks great. I forget his name, but he played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, so Dr. Dre looks great. The dude who played Lawrence in Hamilton is Usnavi. I'm looking forward to that because he killed it in Hamilton. I loved him.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just something about the trailer just hypes me up in a way that I think only Ian can relate to.
You said over a long period of time it evolved. I think you just devolved. I don't know what
I
happened
think it's
there.
a bit of both, where I lowered my standards to the point where I was like, this is going to be the greatest fucking movie of all time. So yeah, my number one is In the Heights.
All right. So my number one is obligated to be at number one. My favorite film of all time is The Matrix. So I can't not put Matrix 4 up there. But the problem is, everything post-Matrix the Wachowskis have done has been ass, as you pointed out astutely. I would even argue Speed Racer is not good.
You're wrong.
A Speed Racer is not
You're
good.
wrong.
But I'm watching right now on Netflix Sense8, the only other thing the Wachowskis have really done. Ever done, really, except for the movies that they're terrible. I'm 2 episodes in. It's good. It's a good show. But every movie they've made post-Matrix has been bad. So the problem I'm having is that if you take out The Matrix, they're terrible directors. But I can't just take out my favorite movie ever made. So I have to give them props, and I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. So whatever they make for the rest of time, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to freaking hope it's good. They didn't bring back Hugo Weaving. You pointed that out. Big problem. But,
No buts.
you know, you got the main stars in there. You got some obscure characters from Matrix 2 and 3 coming back. Maybe they're going to utilize them in interesting ways this time. What's really riding it for me is that they have like 10 A to B to C listers that we all know the names of that are in the cast. You got Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who was in Aquaman
He's
recently.
amazing.
He's incredible.
Fantastic.
Neil Patrick Harris, like maybe the best gay male in Hollywood working of all time.
Ian McKellen. Come on, man.
Oh, fuck,
yeah.
maybe even
Not
McKellen.
even close.
All right, good point.
Come on.
It's not even just the cast. It's the fact that they're returning to this world. I have not seen this world been done since Matrix 3, the worst Matrix movie. That was like almost 20 years ago at this point. So
yeah.
for them to do this, I mean, I know HBO Max is putting it on streaming at the same time, which is it's a separate subject, but I'm going to try my damnedest to see this in theaters because I want that
Yes.
experience. And if I like it, I'm going to see it 2 or 3 times. I don't care what my paycheck is going to look like at the end of the week. I'm watching this movie as many times as I can. So.
Oh man, now we get to hear Ian talk about The Matrix 4 because I'm jazzed. The Matrix, also one of my favorite movies of all time. Hugo Weaving, my favorite actor of all time. Not gonna be in it. Pissed. However, as much as the Matrix sequels aren't good, The Matrix 2 is one of the funnest movies I've ever watched. And I will hold that on the pedestal of that 1 billion Smith fight is hysterical. It is fun. It is everything I wanted in that movie, and I want to watch The Matrix, damn it. I want another good Matrix movie, because you watch the first one, you're like, man, this world, there's everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much, and we get a little glimpse of it, and then they go to the second one, and it's like, okay, it's the same world, but with 1,000 billion Hugo Weavings, that's pretty cool. And then the third one sucks, and it's outside in Zion, and there's boring, and there's nothing good, and then you fall asleep, and the movie's over. It devolves over time from, like, psychology and, like, breakdown of how life is, and then the second one has a little bit of that, but it starts to, like, get microwaved, and then in the third one, it's just like, here's your text, no more subtext, here it is, vis-a-vis, ergo, concordantly, and you're sitting there like, oh my god. And I just want this to
Sitting
be
like
The
I am
Matrix
now.
again.
I would
I
like.
want it to be good
Don't let me
because The
down.
Matrix is
I
so
don't
much fun. And then you watch the other ones and you're like, hours of nothing.
I have never heard the sequels to The Matrix referred to as being microwaved in my life.
The psychology, it's like you took the psychology and then it's like real psychology. Psychology 101. Guy who heard about psychology sometime.
And then the third, no, it's real psychology. Guy who heard about psychology. Post on r/philosophy.
Like, it's just so, they devolve the psychology and philosophy. And I don't know why.
So based on statistics, this is gonna be the worst film ever made.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have hope because of the first one.
Okay.
Because
For the
of
same
how good
reason
it's the
Jake
same
does.
reason you have hope for it. It's just, I want to see more kung fu. I want to see more fun. I want to see more Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Well, he's everywhere now.
He is.
I just want to watch the movie. I want to be like, damn, The Matrix has 2 good movies instead of 1.5.
All right.
That's what I want.
I give it half credit for a 10-minute fight.
That fight is good.
All right, guys, please.
Please end our suffering.
Yeah, please
I don't
end our
want to listen to
suffering.
Ian anymore.
Yeah, what's your number ones?
My number one is Dune. So since it's been mentioned quite a few times, I won't like rehash everything. I have not read the book or seen the original. I was thinking about reading the book at the beginning of this video, and now I'm like, maybe I shouldn't.
It's a lot. I mean, you still should, but it's a lot.
You should read it. It's dense.
It's very dense.
Okay, well, I'll get
It's
the book and
huge.
start reading, and I can't guarantee I'll finish it before the movie.
You probably will, because knowing this, like,
Oh,
It's gonna get delayed again.
Oh yeah, the legendary thing. It's gonna be like, yeah, delayed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know if you've ever heard about that court case, but it's wild. But anyway, go on.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm just excited. I think the cast is great. I think it looks great. I'm really into, like, fantasy, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's what good sci-fi is fantasy in space.
all right. My number one is Sherlock Holmes 30.
What?
That's coming out.
Yeah.
What?
It's announced.
Well, yeah, it's announced.
It's announced for December 2021,
Yo,
so
I
it still
fucking
counts
love
for 2021.
Robert Downey Jr., right?
Robert Downey Jr.
I thought you said Sherlock Holmes 30, and I was like, what the fuck is
Yes.
Sherlock Holmes 30?
Sherlock Holmes 30. I mean, there are like so many other Sherlock Holmes
Movies.
movies and TV shows, and I love them all. But Robert Downey Jr., I freaking love him.
Yeah.
Man, I love him. So I'm just super excited. It's been 10 years since
Yep.
the second one, and it's been a long time coming, and I'm just really excited because
Yeah, no, I love the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes
Both
movies.
of them are fantastic.
Both of them are great.
I might be the biggest fan possible of
You
them
are.
in the room because that second movie, people say it's not as good. I think it's even
it's so good.
better.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It is really good.
It is really good. I don't agree that it's better than the
Also,
first
though,
one.
I'd have to rewatch
I have to
it.
disagree that you're the biggest fan since you didn't know that it was coming out.
Ah, but I know it's not shooting. So
Did you just look it up?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's in pre-production.
5 film nerds trying to out-nerd each other.
yeah, exactly. No, basically like Sherlock Holmes 2. Okay, so I'm a sucker for chess scenes. All right, chess is like my favorite game of all time, including video games.
Queen's Gambit
So-
was really good.
Yeah, that fucking chess scene, and it might be the best cinematic version of chess until the Queen's Gambit on screen ever. So, I'm there. I don't know if it's gonna happen though, because you got like a year to shoot the whole movie.
I mean, I don't think Spider-Man 3 is shooting yet either.
It is. It
Is
already.
it?
Yeah, it's like a month ago.
Fuck, I don't know anything. Dude,
Yeah, there's been some set photos and stuff.
do you remember that time Venom managed to film its entire movie without me expecting it to come out?
Yeah, good times.
I was like, that movie's not coming out, and you were like, it wrapped production yesterday, and I was like, it did?
But yeah, no, Sherlock Holmes is awesome. God, that's such a good one. That's such a good.
really
pick.
good.
Did we
I'm
want to
so
do an
jealous.
honorable mention?
Honorable mentions?
Go
Yeah,
for
we
it.
are doing it.
All right, fine. Quiet Place Part 2, because everyone else mentioned it. I don't fucking know.
Honorable mention: Godzilla versus Kong.
Shut up.
Again,
No.
I can appreciate. No,
We can't.
hear me out.
we can't
Hear me
talk
out.
about it,
I can
never mind.
appreciate a subtle, nuanced character drama. Most of my favorite movies of all time are subtle, nuanced character dramas.
Your
favorite I'm-
movie's The Matrix.
It's a little bit of both, but I'm not looking to watch the best movie of all time. It's not on my list. I'm looking to watch a really, really big monkey punch a giant lizard in the head for 2 hours. Sometimes in life you just need the simple pleasures. Sometimes at midnight you got to go to the fridge, get some ice cream, and eat the whole carton. Sometimes you got to watch Godzilla versus Kong in your life. God damn it!
You know, I would probably mention Dune here in my thing, but after watching Dune, I'd rather watch Free Guy. It seems like so much more fun, and I want fun. That's it.
Yeah.
I just want something fun. This year has been
Ass.
awful. I want more movies and I want fun, and
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
is a movie and fun, and it delivers both of the things I
Both
would
of the
like.
requirements.
That's the 2 requirements I have right now.
Guys, I'm curious to hear what you guys have for honorable mentions.
Mine is Coming to America 2. It almost made my top 5, but then I was like, I don't know, because like I said, I feel like it's gonna be like a giant parody of itself.
Mhm.
But I am excited. I like the cast that they have, so I'm like excited to see like how they progress the story and keep like a bit of the charm from the first one. I don't know if they'll be able to keep all of the charm,
Mhm.
but at least an essence of it, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, my honorable mention, which was almost on my list, is The King's Man.
Oh, that looks fun.
Yes,
Because I love those movies. They're so
Mhm.
good, and I feel like a lot of people forgot that this movie was even coming because it has been a long time, and I'm so excited because I love the way that they do the movies, and I'm excited.
That's a good one.
It
That's
is
a
a
good
good
pick.
one. I feel like 2 took itself a little bit too seriously, so hopefully they go back to.
I think the opposite. I think 2 went too far into cartoon land.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had some
that's funny.
stupid crap. But no, I really hope this one looks a lot more serious.
It looks really fun.
It
Yeah.
looks really like gritty, and
Yeah.
it looks like the kind of thing you need for an origin story in The King's Man. It shouldn't just be as goofy as possible.
Also, they used "War" in the trailer, which was the best song they could have used.
what is
Oh,
it good for? Making a third King's Man. So to wrap it up, we're gonna advertise what's coming out on the channel. Today's Christmas, so tomorrow we got our classic Saturday upload slate. Guys, what's coming out on your channel soon, and where can people find you online?
Well, we're hoping that today we can drop a review for Wonder Woman 84
Ooh.
and Soul. Was there another? We want to do Promising Young Woman, but it
We'll
doesn't seem
see.
to be
Coming out
coming out on
anywhere.
streaming.
But
And
yeah, you can find us, CineChix on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. It was a lot of fun.
Ian thought your full legal name was Cinnamon Chickens.
Yeah,
It's
no,
abbreviated.
I didn't
Yes,
realize it was
cinnamon
Cinema Chicks. It was obviously Cinnamon Chickens. Duh.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Now we're gonna have to make a cinnamon chicken.
That's chicken. Is it covered in cinnamon? Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
spice.
It's just like basted in it.
Basted in a butter cinnamon. Yeah.
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 That actually sounds like it could be good.
Guys, it's okay because hot quality content means nothing at all. So
It's just
okay.
words.
It's just words
That's
together.
what our content is. Darn
Nothing
it.
at all.
yeah.
No,
I fucking agree.
I meant hot and quality, but sure, I guess nothing at all.
So first of all, Merry Christmas to all the fans watching. But tomorrow, Saturday, on the channel, we have Ian's pick for Dealer's Choice. Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross uploading. It's a banger video, I gotta say.
Kevin Spacey's in it.
Kevin Spacey in it. Also, hopefully, yeah, it's not a good thing at all.
Yeah, I
but
know. Don't
hopefully-
watch it.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're gonna watch also Wonder Woman 1984. We're
Yes,
very
I'm so
excited.
excited.
It's the last actual blockbuster coming out in 2020 post March.
Whoa, you don't think Monster Hunter is gonna be a blockbuster, dude?
Also, Monster Hunter already came out. Checkmate. Go back to God.
It
Got
comes out
'em.
on the 25th.
No, it's
too.
out.
Really?
It's
Yes.
out, it's
Did they
out.
release it early?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It-
Shut the fuck up.
People cared about it so much, it's already out. So yeah, we're really excited for what's coming up on the channel. You can find us across social media at CakeJamara, which is my name with the initials reversed because we don't really have a channel thing. We're just kind of
We don't do social media.
But youtube.com/hot quality content to find all of our future upcoming videos and stay subscribed to 12:30 p.m. on every Saturday, circa our time, because we're on one side of the country. It's been a blast, and catch you guys on your channel for the same crossover but a little bit different.
What the hell else more do you need to know?